Hello friends, hello loyal audience. I know you can't wait to watch my video, so I'm making one now. This has got to do with the State of the Union address, right? And the topology of what Biden said yesterday. There are things, straight out not true, right? But I'm going to explain those after I make the point of this video. The point of this video is there are difference between the two, Biden and Trump, and there are many things they share, right? There are few things they share. There are few things they quite few actually. They feel the same way about their conviction and their and their conduct toward it is really the same. Take for example, Obama's scare, right? You may think Trump is against Obama's scare. That's not true. As you recall, they ran this farce in the Senate and the House and so on to repeal Obama's scare. And supposedly John McCain vetoed it, right? It's not true, folks. That was an act, that was a farce, that was a circus. It was a circus act, that's all. Trump is for Obama's scare. Biden is for Obama's scare. Why is that? Because there are certain interests in the United States, including investors, right, that benefit out of Obama's scare. Now, if you recall, so Biden said it's cheaper and affordable and so on. That's not true. Even Obama himself said that it's going to rise in cost and so on. So now it's probably as expensive as buying an insurance from a known insurance company and so on. So it's not true. So Obama's scare, both are not true. Two, and these are the points that I do care about, right? Two, the opposition to Iran, not true. Both Trump and Biden, and before them Bush and Obama, and they're all for Iran, right? They're on the boat, same boat with Iran, right? JoBi, Joe Biden has shown that lately with his response to Iran and so on. I'm telling you that they're both the same. Trump is on the same boat with JoBi and with Biden and Obama. I mean, with Biden, Obama, and Trump and Bush and so on. All these wars that you see in the Middle East that are doing away with millions of innocent lives and so on is just for what's called the Greater Israel, which includes Iran's revolution and so I think he lies about that. What else there is? He talked about investment and so on. He's passing money to investors, right? But not as bad as I don't believe it's as bad as Trump and Obama, and so that's what that is. His opposition, the only difference between him and Trump and Obama is his opposition to Putin. I believe he's opponent of Putin. He's in opposition to Putin, but I don't believe it's as intense, right? He's arming Ukraine, but not enough for Ukraine to, drive the invaders out. However, I do think there is a change. What does that mean? That means, when the aggression started against Ukraine by Putin, they were all on board. That this was a done deal, that they wanted to give Putin, so and so, right? It was agreed upon, and I have no doubt that Biden was on the same page with everybody else, same instructions, same approach, same, same, right? However, that has evolved. Their position toward Ukraine has evolved, you know, and they're arming Ukraine. And I don't think that's due to them changing their stance or stand on it or approach to it, or, but I think that's due to people, whether in Western Europe or here in the US or Canada, watching the situation unfold and seeing that Putin is means to invade all Europe, and that they, his plan and plot toward Europe is like all of Europe. I explained that in a number of videos, right? So, so they began to change, and they started arming Ukraine, but not enough to drive Russia out, right? So you see that there's a controlled approach to Ukraine, and that's only due to people, the masses seeing the situation and seeing that there's complicity and so on and so forth, right? Everybody sees that, and lately even Scholz of Germany was very open, right? His statement about Ukraine is very open, including that leak. For example, they talked about leak giving Ukraine certain cruise missile and so on and so forth. That was intentional because they don't want to people to think that Germany is not arming Ukraine in secret when they're really not. I mean, they're giving them whatever, right? So that's that. So I don't know about Joe Biden. I don't think he's a dog of Putin. I don't think he's in total opposition for him. I don't think, I don't think he's gonna stop arming Ukraine, and so on and so forth. Now you notice, like behind him, Johnson and others, they were pretending. Johnson is not a great actor. So I looked at him, reflecting his feelings, on his face and so on. First of all, it was forced out. It's induced, like it's feigned. He was feigning feelings, right? Trying to show certain feelings on his face, that he's dissatisfied, he's so and so, blah blah. That's not true, so and so. But I couldn't dispel the feeling. I couldn't shake off the feeling that this guy was just feigning that those looks on his face, right? And so on and so forth. Two, you may think that Biden, stay away from those guns, man. Those Americans and their freedom and their weapons. That's a road or a path to tyranny. Once you see people trying to take your guns and your assault rifles and so on, that's a straight path to tyranny. But Trump is not any better. What is Trump doing is really taking the United States to be like Cuba. It's another Cuba, let's put it this way. You may not believe that, but it is true. It's very easy to infer the fact, right? And deduce the facts and surmise the situation. If you're a dog of Putin and you want him to come and rule, right? Just look at what Putin is doing. It's as simple as that, right? It's not a riddle, big riddle. It's not a complex riddle and a mystery to resolve, right? It's very simple. What is Putin doing is what Trump will do, right? And if you look at Russia, you can go, you look, and there are those big statues of those tyrants, Lenin and Stalin, and right? And they're impressive, right? Big statues and so on. Folks, these are the signs and relics of tyranny, of despotism, of gulags, of when human becomes animal, and so on and so forth. So if you're impressed with Putin and want to mimic Putin and bring his dogma and ideology and whatnot to your country, you have it all wrong, folks. You have it all wrong, right? And that's what Trump is going to do. So there's a difference. I disagree with all that, that JoBi said about Iran, about Obama's scare, about arming Ukraine, and right, but I do see difference between the two. So I haven't changed my mind. And I can tell you this, that some of those Republicans are making faces, that they are not sincere about their feelings, And in the back end, I think they're all pretty much brothers of comrades of arm or kinfolk and stuff like that. So there you have it. I don't have I don't think Biden has a carte blanche. Carte blanche, is that what it is? But he's definitely different from Trump. So if you want your United States to continue, that's JoBi for now. That's Joe Biden. If you don't want your country to continue and becomes like, you may think Cuba was sized down and inactivated and put in a box and so on, this island with those disgruntled and sickly regime that runs the country and so on. I think that Cold War and those communists of Russia and Iran and China and here and there and the Netanyahus, right? They are, in fact, has been working for a long time, and they mean to turn the United States into a Cuba. I don't see that JoBi is going to do that. Not yet, but he's not clean, totally clean of what's going on. So meaningly, he is not the angel and everybody else is a devil. They're all devils, right? But there is a difference. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Let's get some coffee. This goes for a long sip of coffee. Wow. Them Arabs, man. They know what to drink, right? So anyways, like I said, yesterday JoBi did very good, right? I thought his dad brought a bottle of water with him, but what they say about him losing his mind and memory and so on, that's bullshit. That's not true. What he says about himself, also not true, and so does Trump, right? So the idea is to continue as is, right? Right, and if you want to continue as is, at least for now, that's Joe Biden. That's that. There are many other things I could say here. I thought the stupidest person there that I saw and looked at was Marjorie Green. I think she's not part of the posse. So they let her shout and sing and all that stuff and wear funny clothes and so on. But so she's oblivious to what's going on. She's unaware of her surroundings. But that's that. That's my take on it. So JoBi, I really cheered him here. I was watching TV, and I put some texted him on X, right, or Twitter. Oh, it was erased right away. The texting or the tweets that I put there were erased right away, and my computer started acting up and rebooting and all that stuff. So apparently, the Elon Musk, wasn't too happy about people talking, seeing that Biden was a great orator, right? He was a great orator. He's a storyteller. He did very, the speech yesterday was very good, man. It's exciting. It rouses someone into rapture, right? Oh, right, and JoBi and so on. But that's what it is. Things are not as clear or as clean as they are, but we know what they are. And, like for example, he talked about killing 1,400, in Israelis around Gaza and so on. That's not true, folks. The leaders of Hamas are straightforward Israelis, and they didn't kill anyone, really. They just initiated an operation. Israel decided to take out Gaza, right? Destroy Gaza, and for some ritualistic purposes want to kill like 30,000. Or they see it on the long run as a problem in their side, right? And they want to get rid of it. So they ordered their Hamas arm, right? The leadership, and they do a mock operation, mock attack on Israel, and they use it as a ploy. That's sad, folks. That's criminal, and that's sad. That's sad. And JoBi, you know what? JoBi, stop saying stuff like that, man. There was no 1,400. Now I know. If I want to be conspiratorial here, I would say you have no choice, because if you criticize Israel or say what is really going on, that's a political suicide here. Not really, no. Just like if you can't say what is right, just don't say anything, right? Stay silent. You know, our Prophet Muhammad says, one of his traditions, oh man, the Prophet, that Prophet. He says, and I quote, and I'm going to say it in Arabic and try to translate it for you in English. من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فمن لم يستطع فبلسانه فمن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. That who sees munkar, let me find it first. So the word munkar is a template, is nakr. Meaning here, if you see a crime, if you see an injustice that done, if you see something wrongdoing, let's say wrongdoing, regardless whether it's political or personal or anything, right? Or abuse or whatever it is, change it with your hand. That with your hand means meaningly try to force, try to correct it forcefully. So if you observe wrongdoing, regardless how or where and so on, try to change it or forcefully change it with, you know, and stop it from happening, right? Prevent the miscarriage of justice or something like that, right? But if you can't with your hand, then with your mouth, you know, speak it out, right? You know, against it, speak against it. But if you can't, then in your heart, and that's the weakest of faiths. Peace be upon you. But so you know, 1400. Oh man, that's what's happening in Gaza is conspiracy against humanity, and you know it, JoBi, and you all know it. I still remember what's his name, that sorry, that man, that guy in a sorry, who's in a sorry state, Lindsey Graham, you know, calling for the Israelis to level Gaza, right? 2 million, level it, right? Oh man, you're a loser, man, to say something like this. All right. So that's all I have to say. There's much to say about that. So the whole thing was, you know, set up, and some of the information dispensed by Biden is not exactly correct or truth. It wasn't so truthful. However, their speech was great, and some of it is, you know, correct, like his opposition to Putin. I don't think it's not 100%, but yeah, he has probably some opposition to Putin, and so on and so forth. So, bottom line is this, folks: you have a choice between two. You got your JoBi, and then you got your Trump. One is subservient and a donkey for Putin. You know, Hillary Clinton called him a horse. I call him a donkey. You know, horses have like more value. And so you see what I'm trying to say here, right? Arming Ukraine, something is wrong there. I think what they're trying to do is they want to piggyback on that deal. You know, like they want to give Ukraine some weapons, but they want to siphon off a lot of, you know, quite few billions and channel them to Israel and stock market and here and there. That's why they're delaying the deal, not that they... and they're probably trying to influence the type of weapons and so on that Ukraine can get. Here's the deal for you. You already made a mistake allowing this war to drag on for so long. That's a big historic mistake. That's a mistake. And that's especially for Europeans. If you allow this war to linger or to go on unchecked or unstopped, you will come to regret it further. And you know what? In the past few days, I had the feeling that this war will still drag on for long years, right? So it'll be going on for years and years, and you're guilty, you know. You cannot afford for Putin to come into your country. You cannot change his regime, himself and his surroundings, those dogs and, you know, of his and him and so on. You cannot change them, folks. You cannot deal with them. You cannot trust them. You cannot look away from them. You have to be hyper vigilant. These guys have track records from Lenin all the way through now, and will continue so long that regime exists. They kill, maim, murder, gulags, and invade their neighbors. These guys have absolutely no humanistic value in them, period. You want them to come your way? Guess what? If you can't, if you cannot protect your country, and if you cannot join in the defense of Europe, if you cannot work against Putin and his posse and that dark world of theirs, right? Then leave, allow somebody else to take over, like stronger than you are. That's all I'm saying. If Putin, the world's prospect of progress and so on, so long that regime exists, and it's not just that regime of Russia, but Iran and China and that of Netanyahu and so on, so long they exist, the world's progress will be halted, and it will be, in fact, diminishing and decreasing in no prosperity and so on. And I'm saying the world, and that's what they really are after. And look at them ever since 1917 until now. They never waned or waxed or waned. And, they never gave up, and they're still driving the same drive, even though they were hit with a mortal wound in Afghanistan and they collapsed. But then their friends in America brought them back up. You guys cannot find such a world. You cannot make such a world. It'll beat you. But that's all I have to say. So JoBi, nice performance. Leave those guns alone. Obamacare, Obamacare. That's bullshit. It's not saving people any money, but Trump is guilty as well, right? And it's siphoning off a lot of money on account of taxpayers, and it's going back in the back end. God knows where it's going, right? So you're also passing money for the investors. So not as bad as Trump or Obama, but guess what? So for me, right now, Biden is the only choice for the United States to continue as is, right? When Trump comes, that's it, folks. Putin is in, and you can't get him out. But his chances of going back into the White House is closer to none, is very slim, or even close to none, right? Non-existent, let's put it this way, right now. But hey, guess what? There's this humongous machine behind them. So they're going to fight. This is not going to be over. Yesterday it wasn't over, and the fight will continue until November. And but even then, I see Americans not exactly on the same boat with, or on the same page, or agree with Trump or what he is and so on. I'm talking whites and blacks as well. All right, have a nice day, and I enjoyed the show yesterday. Bye now.